ladies and gentlemen on YouTube. My name is Robert Serrano Jr., and I am the natural born thriller because I'm the natural and I'm born to be the thriller. And if you don't like it, beat it because no one wants to be defeated. I'm just saying. So, welcome, everyone, all you YouTubers, to this WWE SmackDown and 205 Live review. The first one I'm going to be doing is the SmackDown Live review, the show from December 26, 2017. This was from last week, and fortunately for last week, I didn't get to watch last week because last week I was at a wrestling show, when it comes to WWE. So I didn't get a chance to watch SmackDown live during that time. So this is basically me on going a coverage for this one. Not a long coverage, but just a short one, and then once I get to 205 Live, I'll be also obviously another short coverage too as well. So that being said, as I'm getting all set up here, let's get to the show. Let me just pull out the results here, and some other couple of things too. And then we can move on. All right, here we go. So, when it comes to WWE SmackDown Live from December 26, 2017, the edition, this was the night after Christmas, or should I say the Raw after Christmas, where SmackDown was doing their show. When it comes to the end of 2017, and today is on January 2nd, 2018, as I'm doing this coverage. And once I'm done with this, I'll get ready to watch SmackDown in a couple of minutes, and then I'll get to that. And then also 205 Live. By the way, I gotta watch 205 Live first, and then and then you'll see me later on when it comes to the SmackDown and 205 Live review for 2018. So that being said, so the show opened up the first hour when it comes to SmackDown being in Chicago, Illinois, and your commentators were Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. So the first thing that happened in hour number 1 for SmackDown was Daniel Bryan coming out to color promo. Basically, he comes out to talk about the whole WWE United States Championship situation with Dolph Ziggler. When Dolph Ziggler said to surrender the United States Championship belt by putting it in the ring, leaves the ring, and then he walked out of the building basically. So, which I could give a fuck about Dolph Ziggler. Fuck him. Don't care about him. So, Daniel Bryan says that at this point now, it's going to be vacant, and also he referenced that Dolph Ziggler will go down as one of the all-time greats. I disagree. I respectfully disagree. But Dan Bryan decided to make a United States Championship tournament. So, with that being said, if I can find the brackets here. Oh, okay, here we go. It's right here. Now, Dan Bryan didn't tell us the full brackets of it. All he told us was it was going to be Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode. And another one happened later on, but Dan Bryan got a chance to talk about it because also he gets interrupted by Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. So, while I'm trying to find the brackets here, I thought I found it, but I could let you all know who else is in the match. Who else is participating in this tournament to crown a new United States Championship. Which probably the new United States Champion will be crowned at the Royal Rumble. But again, I have difficulty finding the brackets. Oh, okay, I think I found it. Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Here we go. So before I move on to what happened in this next segment, with Dan Bryan being interrupted by, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, let me just read you the brackets. All right, now it's loading up right now. All right. Well, I'm not gonna actually show you the brackets because I don't want to spoil who won. But I'm pretty sure y'all know who won the first round so far. For those who watched SmackDown last week. But it's Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin, Zack Ryder versus Mojo Rawley, Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger, and Xavier Woods of all people versus Aiden English. So yeah, and there you go. That's the brackets for the United States, for the crown new WWE United States Championship. Basically, to crown new WWE United States Champion for this WWE United States Championship tournament, where there will be the new national champion will be crowned at the Royal Rumble. Now, when it comes to Zack Ryder, he's already been United States champion, so I don't think he's going to win. Which is going to be later on tonight for I'm assuming that's going to be later on tonight for this brackets to all this United States Championship for this United States Championship tournament to continue. Because keep in mind, Royal Rumble is in 3 weeks away from the before we get to this finals for this United States Championship tournament. Which, by the way, it still is the same belt. It's no new design, which is maybe they will come up with a new design of what I heard, but I doubt that. But basically, it's still gonna be the same United States Championship belt. So whatever. So anyways, back to this though. So as I was saying, Dan Bryan didn't get a chance to who was in the tournament, but they did like I said, they did set out the brackets for who is in it on the site. So Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin came out. They basically wanted an opportunity against the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which is the Usos. So all of a sudden, we get Aiden English and Rusev coming out, and they talk about how they want to shout out the tag team titles. And then New Day comes out, and they want to shout out the tag team titles. So Dan Bryan decides to make a triple threat tag team match. Winner of that match gets to face the Usos for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, for the Tag Team Championships. Now, I don't remember if he said it's gonna happen next week. I mean for tonight's SmackDown show. Because keep in mind, I'm doing this review about this SmackDown show that I'm doing right now from last week. But I think that's gonna be for tonight's match for those who won the triple threat tag team match. But yeah, and Dan Bryan said the match is gonna start now between the three teams. So as this is going on, we get the Usos coming out, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions to make a commentary for this match. And this was a good match. From the opening match for SmackDown was a very good match between all three teams, especially the New Day. But people wanted Rusev and English to win because this whole Happy Rusev Day is over with certain other crowds, and in Chicago they basically let WWE know that this whole Rusev Day that Rusev and Aiden English is doing is game over. And it's not just in Chicago; they also did it in what was the last city they were in before they. Well, there was also Clash of Champions. Rusev Day was massive over with the crowds. I forgot where they were at in Clash of Champions. Yeah, I can't. I'm now drawing a blank, but whatever. But the point is, it's game over. This whole Rusev Day is game over for some reason, somehow. Which I'm not mad at though. If anything for Rusev and for any English to get on top of the card, it's good. It's good enough for me there. But anyways, but the winners will end up being Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin of all people. People didn't want them to win. I didn't want them to win either. I wanted Rusev and English to win, but WWE do what they always do. Don't give the fans what they want, and the fans wanted Rusev and English to win, And we didn't get that, so we got Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin instead. Great job, WWE. Yeah, I forgot to mention, it was Biggie and Xavier Woods in wrestling while Kofi Kingston was at ringside. So also we see Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon backstage. Shane McMahon is basically complaining about Daniel Bryan making a decision about the United States Championship situation, and also I forgot to mention this too. He also mentioned that it was going to be Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles in the main event match for SmackDown. And Shane McMahon was complaining about that too. So yeah, Shane McMahon is going to be turning heel pretty soon. So whatever. Ty Dillinger and Fandango had a segment on YouTube with the Ascension, what comes through the Fashion Files, and the Ascension, basically had Breeze Dango wrestle against the Bludgeon Brothers again, like from Clash of Champions they did, and now they're doing it again with them this time on SmackDown. So we get the Bludgeon Brothers versus Breeze Dango. And the Bludgeon Brothers wins by disqualification because the Ascension came out. Yeah, basically the Ascension came out and attacked the Bludgeon Brothers. And then they ran away with Breeze Dango, and then Bludgeon Brothers stand in the ring, looking confused. Then after the match, I believe it's a commercial. I think it was a replay during the commercial break though. But the Ascension once again accepting the challenge to the Bludgeon Brothers for Breeze Dango. And it's gonna happen for later on tonight on SmackDown. I'm gonna see how that turns out. So yeah, WWE plays this WWE Women's Royal Rumble match video. Excuse me, guys. I apologize. I try to fight it. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, SmackDown was playing this first ever Women's Royal Rumble video package again. Because they got to remind us about the Women's Royal Rumble every time because we have no brains, and we have short-term memories, right? So Ruby Riott versus Naomi happens, a match where you had Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan at ringside, the other members of the Riott Squad. And it was a short match, and they protect and WWE have Naomi protected in this match. I don't get why. I don't understand why. She's not a big fucking deal, but Ruby Riott wins the match anyways. And then after the match, the Riott Squad was attacking Naomi. Charlotte Flair comes out for the save, and then the Riott Squad starts beating up on Charlotte Flair, and also Natalya coming out with Tamina, Lana, and Carmella. Basically, the welcoming committee are back together again. And for some reason, Natalya coming out there, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, I thought she's a heel. I don't know, I didn't understand that at all. I didn't get this because they came out, they basically had the Riott Squad retreating. Basically, the Riott Squad retreated because they realized they were outnumbered. And you think that the welcoming community was going to attack Charlotte Flair or Naomi? No, they didn't attack them at all. They were just out there to protect them. So, what are they all baby faces now? What the fuck is this? And then finally we get Randy Young interviewing AJ Styles, where AJ Styles talks about how he started as WWE champion in 2017. He's going to end WWE champion when 2017 comes to an end. And he also talks about he's going to wrestle against Kevin Owens, and he talks about he's basically saying this is SmackDown Live, that house that AJ Styles built. Good promo. And that's the end of hour number 1. Total amount of wrestling for hour number 1 for SmackDown was 3. If you want to count the 2 matches, because they were short, but yeah, 3. That's a total amount of wrestling for hour number 1 for SmackDown. 3 matches. Now we get to SmackDown. I mean, the 205-11. I mean, no. Second hour of SmackDown. My apologies. So here we go. So we start with the first round for the WWE United States Championship Tournament between Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin. Match itself, folks, it was not that good, to be honest with you. It wasn't that good. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad match. I'm just saying it wasn't like a match at all. But hold on a second. All right. Oh, so as I was saying, so yeah, it wasn't that good of a match at all. And I'm thinking to myself, would have been nice to see Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin. No, it would have been nice if we would see Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin to see them plot a good match, in the one-on-one situation, instead of having WWE doing that whole thing where they added Dolph Ziggler for Clash of Champions. But after saying this, yep, um, wasn't that good at all between Roode and Corbin, because obviously Dolph Ziggler carried that match from Clash of Champions. So I guess Dan Bryan's right. He is an all-time great. So anyways, so Bobby Roode wins, and Baron Corbin tough luck for him. So let's get Ty Dillinger versus Jinder Mahal being accompanied by the Sin Brothers for this WWE United States Championship tournament, the first round. This match was pretty decent, I mean, Jinder Mahal he looked pretty good in the match, and he advances. He basically beat Ty Dillinger, and this is what the WWE should have been doing with Jinder Mahal from the very beginning, having him go after the United States Championship before going after the WWE Championship if he deserves, if he does, don't, if down the line if he deserves the opportunity. But no, WWE decided to rush him to go after the United States Championship. I mean the WWE Championship, and I've been miserable with him being champion when it came to him being Nakamura during that time. And plus, he was a failure as a WWE champion because they rushed him too soon instead of building him up to be a legit contender. And keep in mind, he was a jobber this whole time. But whatever. But yeah, Jinder Mahal advances to the second round, and we'll get to more of that when we get close to that match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were backstage. They're being interviewed by Dasha, and basically the interview was about Kevin Owens, facing AJ Styles, the WWE champion in a non-title match, and Owens is and while Kevin Owens is cutting his promo, being interviewed, Sami Zayn, every time when Kevin Owens is talking, finished talking, all of a sudden Sami Zayn cuts in and starts saying "Yup" because it's the "Yup" movement when it comes to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So Kevin Owens says he got one champagne bottle left. It was supposed to be for Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan refuses to have a drink because he doesn't drink and all that. So, and that's fine because I'm gonna say this drink when I beat AJ Styles, and then Owens says that you're not invited, Dasha, and people in Chicago are not invited except for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn because it's the Kevin and Sami show, or the Sami and Kevin show, whichever wherever they decide. Next we get Randy Orton interviewing. Randy Young interviewing Randy Orton, and Randy Orton talks about how he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura shows up, and he's like, "I agree. Let's rumble." And y'all know who I'm picking for this one: Shinsuke Nakamura to win the 2018 Royal Rumble. All right, so next we get to the main event match: AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn at ringside. Match itself was pretty good. Yeah, what else can you expect from these two guys who wrestle each other every time, especially when it comes to 2017, and a little bit from 2016 too, from 2 years ago. So in the match, AJ Styles got rid of Sami Zayn. I'm trying to remember how he did. I think he did like an over the top plunger onto Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn was trying to get involved, and then Sami Zayn distracted AJ Styles, which AJ Styles trying to go for the kill here onto Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon comes out to order the referee to escort Sami Zayn out. So Sami Zayn was being thrown out, and Shane McMahon is there with him, and the referee is being distracted. Basically Shane McMahon and basically the referee was being distracted by Shane McMahon and Sami Zayn from the outside. AJ Styles got Kevin Owens pinned, but the referee wasn't there, so the Kevin Owens I think he did it for a super kick. I think he goes for a roll up and then gets a 3 count in the win over AJ Styles. So Kevin Owens wins the end 2017. AJ Styles looks disappointed. Shane McMahon looks disappointed too. AJ Styles leaves. He goes to the aisleway. He sees Shane McMahon. He looks at Shane McMahon like he's ashamed of him. And Shane McMahon was like, "I'm sorry," and all that. So yeah, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn they were celebrating in the ring, and the show ends with that. And yeah. So 12 Mile Wrestling File number 2 to end SmackDown for the December 26, 2017 edition. 3 matches to happen on SmackDown. I mean, 3 matches happened in the second hour of SmackDown. And the 12 Mile Wrestling for SmackDown, for the entire show for SmackDown for last week, for December 26, 2017, was 6 matches. So my overall rating for SmackDown, I'm gonna give this show I'll tell you one thing, it was better than Raw. I'll say that. So to me, I thought it was an average show, but it wasn't a boring show like Raw was. So I'm gonna go 6 out of 10. Now before I move on to 205 Live, let me do this. Now it's time for the WWE 205 Live review, the show from December 26, 2017. All right, folks, let's begin. This won't take long, so here we go. So, when it comes to 205 Live from Chicago, Illinois, when it comes to December 26, 2017 edition one, you have Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph on commentary. So here we go. So the show opened up with Alexander Xavier. Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. When it comes to the highlight, when it comes to cracks in the Zoe train, whatever. I like, basically a way to kick off the 205 Live, and to end the 2017 for 205 Live, basically. So then we get Hideo Itami versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Gentleman Jack Gallagher cuts a promo to Hideo Itami. Not else to say about the elder. He's gonna punish the Japanese superstar. That's basically what the promo was, because of what he did to D. Brian Kendrick from Raw. So we get the match happening between Hideo Itami and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Match itself, it wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't bad either, but just didn't feel a match at all between Jack Gallagher and Hideo Itami. I mean, for what it was, I think it was okay, but that was not anything special. But Hideo Itami wins with the Rings of Saturn move, which means WWE has decided to ban the GTS for because of what happened with D. Brian Kendrick from that Raw Christmas that Hideo had with Brian Kendrick. Excuse me. Just need to get some here. All right, so yeah, WWE was not happy about what happened with D. Brian Kendrick in the match with Hideo Itami when he did the GTS to him, and Brian Kendrick had a broken, basically I won't say his nose was broken, but a fractured nose, like that. So yeah, it was bad, folks. But when it comes to that, as soon as I saw that, yep, Hideo Itami, he's done. He's done with using the GTS. He's done overall. I think he's not gonna be the same ever again now. It's a shame. But yeah. So Hideo Itami can no longer use the GTS. So I guess now his finishing move now is gonna be the Rings of Saturn. The way he did it is on like a modified type of Rings of Saturn, kind of like how Neville once did it. All right. Then we get to Tony Nese, corner, basically being interviewed by Dasha, and basically we all want to know what this Tony Nese stands. Is he still part of the Zoe train or what? So Tony Nese, I guess he is because after what happened here, where Akira Tozawa coming in, because Akira Tozawa was talking about are you I don't remember what he said exactly, but also he got punched out by Tony Nese. So the match happened between Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa. Match itself I thought was pretty decent, but yeah, Tony Nese winning the match obviously because right now they're trying to build Tony Nese right now for what comes to this angle where if he's still part of the Zoe train or not. So and finally, Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari. Match happens. That was alright. Now, let's do say about this, folks. To me, I feel like that 205 Live was just an average show. Nothing great, nothing good, just average and all that. Nothing exciting too. But Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali ends up beating Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari in the match. And after the match, Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari was arguing with each other because it was obviously Drew Gulak's fault for distracting Arya Daivari. So, and that was that. And by the way, there was no Enzo Amore on that show because Enzo Amore was at Madison Square Garden. How do I know? Because I was at the show. I was at the show when Enzo was wrestling against Kalisto. But again, I'll do a video about that when I get a chance. But other than that, folks, there's nothing else to talk about this about 205 Live because that was it. But the total amount of wrestling for 205 Live was three matches, as always. Sometimes they'll do four, if they're lucky. But other than that, my overall rating for WWE 205 Live for the December 26, 2017 edition, 4 out of 10. So that being said, yeah, that's basically it. So thank you all for watching. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to watch SmackDown right now. So you'll have a good night. Take care. I'll talk to you all later on, when it comes to doing another review for later on for SmackDown and 205 Live. So you all take care. I'll see you all later. Peace on the streets. And I'm out. Before I do, if this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I am Robert Serrano Jr., the Natural Born Thriller. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike. The choice is yours. And now, I'm out. Take care.